Hey everybody, and welcome to another New Player Guide. Today we're going to talk about Norman Withers, who has actually been with us for a very long time. Like a very long time he's been in the game.
Not with this sick second edition art.
It's true, the classic Eldritch Horror, I think that's where he's from. That's
I think that one's second edition too.
No, because Eldritch got all the updated arts. Arkham Horror still has some of the janky ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, have you seen this art?
Oh, yeah. No, it fits with the janky, but not... I have to go. I want to see what old Norman Withers looks like. I'm going to quickly...
I'll talk about him while you're searching.
Yeah.
Alright, so Norman Withers got 4 brain, 5 book, 2 punch, 1 foot. He is the investigator who gets to start with level 0 yellow cards, up to 5 level 0 purple cards, and then you can play level 1 to 5 purple cards, along with all the neutrals as expected.
You're learning magic.
Yeah, you're learning magic.
That's him.
That's, like, almost better.
It is. It is.
Yeah, anyway, and then his abilities, you put the top card of your deck revealed. You have forced. If there's ever a weakness on top, you have to immediately draw it. And you can play the top card of your deck at -1 cost once per round. Pretty solid ability. His star ability, I actually don't know. No, his star ability is like +1. You get to plus X, and you get to swap a card from your hand with the one on top of your deck. And the X is the cost of the card on top of your deck.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here, but because it says play, you can only play the card. You can't commit the card from the top of the deck. It's only play.
That will make a lot more sense once I get to read and leave a default.
Okay, go for it.
This is a 2-cost event that can commit for 2 brains in a book. It takes up a hand slot, Norman Withers deck only. As a lightning bolt, you can exhaust it to swap the top card of your deck with the card in your hand, and also as a lightning bolt, you can exhaust it to commit the top card of your deck to an eligible skill test performed by an investigator at your location. So this allows you to get the skills off your deck.
Solves that problem. I was just wondering, yeah.
And then his weakness is the Harbinger. This is just a big hand. So,
hello, Norman!
yeah, when he's revealed, the top of your deck, I can't actually read this.
Alright, check out this one. Well, the Harbinger, actually, I got this one. I'll make it bigger for us as well. While the Harbinger is revealed and on top of your deck, cards in your deck cannot be searched, drawn, or manipulated in any way except by the below ability. As a double action, discard the Harbinger. This ability may be activated while the Harbinger is on top of your deck as if it was in your threat area.
So it just sits on top of your deck, and then you have to spend 2 actions to get rid of it. It's not too bad.
Yeah, because it basically if you draw it as part of your upkeep phase, the Revelation just puts it right back on top.
You just have to spend 2 actions at some point.
Yeah, and it also doesn't need to be you. It can be another investigator because it is treated as if it was in your threat area. So they can still spend the actions to get rid of it. Honestly, it's a pretty soft weakness.
No, it's really soft.
Hello.
So you can like soft lock yourself.
Well, not really soft, but like slightly below average.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
By using the Lever Devon to switch the cards in your hand for this one while it's on top of your deck.
Yeah.
No, you can't, because you can't manipulate them. But if you could...
If you could, wouldn't you just draw it and then put it back, and then you could do it again?
Just,
like, oh, dang, that didn't work. Let me just use this
instead of
again.
trying to just cover all the game turns, they were like, or manipulated anyway.
Yeah.
Can't
Don't
do it.
touch it. Don't.
Yeah.
I like how all his fingers have like...
It's like a Hydra. It's kind of...
Yeah, like the...
It's also got an extra finger.
Does it?
If you go by like the heads, kind of.
Yeah, it has
like
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, because I think these are supposed to be each one of the heads. I see that.
His hand or whatever. Yeah.
I just like how the longest one looks like it's sort of a little face.
Yeah.
It's just like a little smiley face.
I mean, I love it. I love to imagine Norman like looking at the stars, then all of a sudden the stars are like, hello, and he's like, oh frick.
Oh no.
All right, well, let's talk about the cards in the deck, shall we? Let me just get this time code because that's important for this.
Yeah, okay.
We got Magnifying Glass. You just get +1 while investigating. It's fast. You have 5 book, and you are yellow to start. Even though you do turn purple, Norman has 5 frickin' book.
Let me tell you, as far as these level 0 decks, this one's an absolute banger. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so good.
Well, because it's the yellow one.
It is, yes.
But like with this one, with Norman, you don't need like any work to get going. You can just start.
No, you're just here.
Investigating immediately. We have Shriveling. This will help you kill things. So the nice thing about Norman is that he is also purple. He is actually mostly purple, even though he is yellow on his card, which means you can tap into being damage or grabbing more clues with the spells you get. So there's some kind of... It also allows for Norman to never be dead. So sometimes when you're the goon, you don't have an enemy, and you're like, what do I do? With Norman, would be like, worry not. I'm going to grab some clues here, or wave to the Harbinger on top of my deck.
Yep.
Holy Rosary gives you more brain, which is important because then you'll be 5/5 in your relevant stats. Then we got Dr. Milan Christopher. He gives you +1 book, which is great. And then, even better, you gain resources after you successfully investigate with him. And purple is a very money-hungry class, so like...
As is yellow.
As is yellow. So Norman Withers like won't have...
He doesn't need that many more economy cards because his ability lets him play things. You're going to make a lot of money off of his playing things at -1 resource cost.
Yeah.
But like a little bit is always helpful. Plus, you really want that +1 book. One thing about the Holy Rosary is you don't have too many uses for that plus brain in this deck. It's really just a single copy of Shriveling. But as you put more purple cards into your deck, they will demand you to make more and more brain tests. So
Better to have it at the beginning.
Yep.
Because otherwise...
Better to have it now than pay an experience later for it.
Yep. Where do you want to take these ones?
Here we got the Research Librarian. Libra Devon is a tome.
Yep.
This guy,
Yeah.
it's like getting to play extra copies.
Yeah, it's the only tome in the deck where we're still running 2 Research Librarians because now you effectively have 3 copies of Livery Devon to get.
There's also some purple tomes
Yeah.
I think you can potentially upgrade into.
Yes.
Yeah, you could also be playing a more tome-heavy build of this deck if you want to. Many of the tomes that are good are in the core set, so
Yep.
Yeah.
you know.
Not medical text though.
Yeah, no, don't.
Not medical
No.
texts.
No. Yeah, he's pretty much just extra copies of your book. But also, if you already have your book, you can play him to search your deck and fail to find in order to shuffle and possibly find a different card on top of
Hey,
your deck.
look at that.
Is that good? Who knows? Depends what's in your deck and how badly you need it.
Yep.
We got emergency cash. It's just money. You're going to need money to play your cards. And if you play, can you play this one off the top? You can play events
Yeah.
off
Yeah,
the top of
you
your
You
deck.
can play
so,
just
like,
you can play cards.
Yeah, yeah. If sometimes you just get this one like almost literally for free.
Not
It's like
negative money,
figuratively for free.
though. That'd be sick if it was negative
Yeah.
money.
Oh, let's go 4.
Yeah, it's worth 4 money now. We got Mind Over Matter. Punch and Foot are bad numbers on Norman. He is an old man. Very slow and very weak. Mind Over Matter lets him use his book score instead of those numbers. 5 is a lot bigger than 2 or 1.
This card is mostly here as a placeholder until you get spells that let you use your brain instead of your garbage stats.
Yeah, but in the first scenario or two, this card's probably going to do work for you at some point.
Oh yeah, no, it's just it's a fine card.
Yeah.
And then also just be aware with his ability to, any card that costs 1 is free off the top of your deck, which
Oh,
is
baby.
nice.
Now we got Ward of Protection, which is probably one of the best level 0 purple cards in the game. It doesn't have any real synergy here, beyond like
Being sick.
you can play it off the top of your deck, I guess.
Could you just imagine everyone like flips over, then
But-
everyone's just like, oh, Poggy!
Yeah.
Or like the level 2 one, oh, Poggy!
Like this one's here because you can't
It's-
play level
yeah.
2 one.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah.
you can't on this
I
one,
would
yeah.
play a different card over this if I with access to a larger collection,
Yeah.
but obviously you don't.
Yeah. No,
But it's good enough to run here.
this card is pretty much just here for like its raw power level and rather than any particular Norman synergies.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's cost 0.
I just fell into the trap. I was like, Norman's a purple investigator.
Yeah.
Oh, can't you run level 2?
Yeah, you can.
You can.
just
I was
like
saying,
not
you
with
can't.
this
No.
card pool.
Oh, yeah, with this
not,
card
not
pool,
in the
yeah.
collection that this
Yes,
deck's been
in
built
the
from.
expand one. I
Yeah,
would
okay,
not
so I
play.
was right. I was like,
Yes.
wait a minute. No, he is yellow. No, he's not yellow. Travis, want to take these ones?
We got Working Hunch. This one is here because a clue for 1 money is pretty good.
Yeah, 1 money and not even a card.
Yep.
Or in action.
Yeah, and then we got Deduction because a clue for no money is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Just expedite your clue process. It's one of those things too, like if you have a bigger collection, you probably want to focus Norman Withers less on like the skills unless you're going for like a practiced build, right? Which you still could.
talk to this thing for a different video though.
Yeah, but it's just something to be aware of. People have been
there's-
asking like
There's lots of different builds for Norman. There's one card in particular I'm going to talk about after probably. But
spicy.
I don't remember if I wrote down to put it in or not. So we got Perception next. This gives you +2 book and then draws you a different card. And thanks to Livre de Bon, you can which you'll probably have in play like every game between like Research Librarian and Jeremiah Kirby, and just like drawing it yourself and like how fast you can churn through cards off the top of your deck. Like you're gonna find it. You can help your fellow investigators investigate good. Unexpected Courage fills a similar role, except just with anything.
Yep.
Yep.
We got Guts. Guts is good because the Mythos deck primarily
Guess your nose
fights
not
you
it.
through brain. He has good brain, so you might be asking, why the heck is Guts in here? Well, great question. In addition to Guts protecting you in the Mythos phase, it can also protect your friends. And even a step further, Norman Withers may look like a Seeker, but he is in fact a Mystic. And Brain is the stat you're going to be using for a lot of your things in the future, like attacking, as Travis said. So, why not make that even better?
Why not be good at it?
And that's Guts. Alright, Bryn, you got these guys.
Alright, we got us a pocket telescope.
Flex card.
Yeah, this one has a lightning bolt. You can exhaust it to look at the revealed side of a connecting unrevealed location. Or as an action, you can investigate a revealed connecting location as if you were there. Some locations you kind of just don't want to walk into.
Yeah.
For one reason or another. Maybe there's a big monster there. Maybe it just punishes you for entering it, like the graveyard in the core set. There's a lot of reasons you might not want that.
I think this one's also particularly nice in an investigator like Norman Withers because he has 5 book, where other investigators will want like magnifying glasses or something in their hand. This you can just now investigate without moving into a location.
Yeah, it doesn't even exhaust for the second ability. So
Yeah, you can just not spend a move action going over there.
Yeah, maybe the clues are in a dead end right now, and you just don't want to have to move in and move back.
Yep.
It's big action efficiency to like use this and then commit deduction, just suck the last 2 clues off location, head on your way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, then we got Jeremiah Kirby. He's an ally who, he gives us plus book. If we knew nothing else, that would probably be good enough. But he's also got a reaction effect that after he enters play, you choose odd or even. Or the other way around, depending on whether you're reading the card specifically or just recalling what it does from memory.
And then you reveal the top 20 cards in your deck.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds like a secret card.
You reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You draw all the cards that match the chosen option. In this deck, you probably want to be picking even most of the time.
It does depend occasionally what you're looking for, but he is mostly here for the book.
The rest of the cards get shuffled into your deck. So he can do a lot of things given that we have the top card of our deck revealed.
Yeah.
Right, we already know what one of them is going to be. So we can guarantee to draw a card with this guy every time we play him. Unless he's, maybe even if he's the card on top of our deck, probably even if he's the card on top of our deck, because if we play him before we trigger the reaction ability, we
they'd be already revealed.
We get to look at the next card. Also, it can, since it shuffles the cards you didn't take into your deck, you can use it to reset whatever the card on top of your deck is, assuming that he's in your hand and not in fact on top of your deck.
He does also take 2 hard damage.
Yeah, and he soaks the damage you're bad at taking. Why not?
He's a hero.
He's also Miskatonic, like you.
Vern just, why is yellow? Just in his head, why does yellow get all these awesome things?
What? No, whatever.
And he does this, and this is good too.
Oh, we got. So Norman is just kind of neat. But,
he is.
We got Written in the Stars. It's a space dog.
Yep.
It's a 1-costed event. It's an insight. It's fast. You can only play it during your own turn. You discard the top card of your deck. If that card is a weakness, shuffle it back into your deck. Otherwise, for the remainder of your turn, while that card is in your discard pile, you commit it to each eligible skill test that you perform. If only there was a way to know that the top card of your deck was good to commit to the tests you're going to perform.
If only there's a way to have, oh man, this card's going to do some sick stuff in the next man, thank you. You practice practice makes perfect reduction to your hand, and then you just leave it devolve and put it on top, and then you play this.
Ooh. Sick card. I forgot this one existed.
No, it's
each eligible while the card is in your
it's just like a Manda from your discard pile. Yeah, it's a cool card.
It's just neat.
Yeah, I agree with Bryn. Norman's neat.
Yeah, he's just kind of got a lot of cool stuff going on. It's worth noting you can't use Space Dog to chase away the Harbinger.
Yeah,
he won't do that.
No.
All right, let's talk about some of the experience cards. I'll take these ones.
You got the one wrong blindingly.
Did I?
Yeah, this one's not experienced.
Oh, frick me, man. All right, pretend there's experience. What is the difference? Just give you plus more book, plus more brain?
It costs 1, and it deals 2 damage, I believe. I thought about
think so.
Grotesque statue while you're doing that.
Yeah, you go.
It's a 2.
What
You're
the
messing
fuck?
everything up,
I'm
Justin.
messing everything up.
Grotesque statue is a 2-cost asset that costs 4 experience to put in your deck, takes up a hand slot, and comes with 4 charges. When it has no charges on it, you discard it. As a reaction, when you reveal a Chaos token, you can spend one of the charges to reveal an additional Chaos token, and you choose one of them to resolve and ignore the other. It's just a really good way to pass tests consistently. That's it. Like, it's just a solid card. Makes you pass high value tests, particularly important, where like a generic investigation check isn't the end. If you fail, that's not the end of the world. But like an investigation check with a deduction is like much higher value because it's actually 2 actions, and then you get to pass that one almost certainly.
Travis, I don't know what you're talking about. The experienced one was there the whole time.
Yeah, I know. That is weird.
Is this from the core set?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah, maybe
What?
maybe the revised core set.
No, it's like right there, dude. Your core set number 69.
Oh, nice. Sublime Light level 2. It's a 1 cost. Evade. The evasion type uses your brain instead of your foot. If you succeed, deal 2 damage to the enemy just evaded. If a symbol token, not the Elder Sign, is revealed during this evasion attempt, lose 1 action this turn and take 1 horror.
I swear to God, I've never seen this card before.
It's like pretty good actually,
What's the difference with the base one? It costs 1 less.
and it does 2
And
damage
there's
instead
2
of 1.
damage instead. Oh yeah, that's a nice
And you also
little
take a
upgrade.
horror if you fail, in addition to losing the action.
Yeah, but the horror doesn't matter
Or if you
to
draw
you.
the bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is nice with Norman in for multiple reasons. It costs 1, which
He's an
is...
old man.
He's an old man, yep.
Yeah.
And it's essentially like just an attack spell. Like, I think with...
It's like a stunning blow.
Yeah. Honestly, like... This card ain't that bad.
You read it, you're like, this is like good.
Yeah. Like, the
Yeah.
thing is, it costs 2 experience is where it, like, gets kind of chunky, right?
Yeah,
But I think the
that
fact
can be free with your brain damage.
Yeah.
It's a shame it's not actually part of the core set. I swear I've never seen this card before, like, I don't know, maybe 8 months ago.
Yeah.
It's got to be new. Has to be.
But yeah, and also just going back to the thing I said, it's free off the top of your deck, which really changes the value of the card. Then we got Mind Wipe level 1. Fast, play after a phase begins. Choose an enemy at your location. That enemy, its text box is blank.
Yep.
That
It's
it's like
free off the top of your deck.
yeah, it's kind of just like a tech card dealing with certain enemies. It's not like a must include, but some campaigns it's better than others. Like for example, if you're playing the Forgotten Age with Norman Withers, Mind Wipe's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of snakes.
Yeah.
And snakes aren't so scary when they're a guy with no face.
It's true. Oh, you're just guy with no face.
Yeah, yeah.
You're not some
Well, they don't have
spooky
any fangs
snake.
to bite, poison you with.
Nope.
So here, hey, it's...
What are you talking about?
So there's one other card. You want to pull up Arcane and shit for the other slot? I forgot to write that one down.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we have In the Thick of It. This is like a card that you might want to include in your starting deck. It really... I personally think it's up to personal preference whether you want it or not. 3 experience is really nice for the first couple scenarios, but that trauma can be awful in the later ones, and the 3 experience kind of falls off about midway through the campaign, and its value. Having access to some of like a couple brand of Cthulhu's in the early scenarios can be huge, but you need the level 0 one, Justin. These are level 0 cards.
Oh, well, this is for Edge of the Earth story, I thought. My mistake.
These are like deck building options. Because there's so much you can do with normal.
You want
just a
Arcane
corset.
Initiate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where he's just like... The experience can be good for the first couple scenarios, and hopefully you can snowball that into the trauma not mattering later. But there's like a real chance that trauma can come back to bite you in the later scenarios, so...
You just take this and then you bring a can of soup with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in Coruscant and Edge of the Earth, but... The Arcane Initiate here, this is like the other card I considered for the 5 level 0 purple slots. I felt the yellow allies were a little bit stronger when I was building this deck, but especially if you don't want to build around Livre de Bon, Deduction, and just like basic investigating, if you want to lean more into like combat stuff, the Arcane Initiate will probably be a better ally choice because it can help you dig up your experienced cards later. The Arcane Initiate also pairs well with In the Thick of It, because you want Arcane Initiate to take damage and die at some point, and when you spend experience on cards, the experience is worthless if you don't draw them, and Arcane Initiate helps you draw them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Arcane Initiate also just shuffles your deck every time you use her.
Yep.
So you can
Yep.
use her to, like, take a second shot at finding the Harbinger.
That being said, you do have to either give up, like, the Ward of Protections or the Holy Rosaries reasonably.
Sick.
And then she also doesn't do anything in your level 0 deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Shuffle my
feels
deck.
bad.
Let's go!
Yeah, here are all those...
Yeah, so these
here's
are the strats.
spells.
Talk about the Branica Thugga. It allows you to attack with your brain, and then these ones are a bit different than like Shrivelin and the other ones, where you only spend the charges if you succeed. You spend 1 or 2 for the level 1, and 1 to 3 for the level 4. And instead of the standard damage, it deals 1 damage for each charge spent. And if you succeed by 0, you lose 1 action on the 1, 2 actions on the 4. These cards, I think, like, none of us really know.
I think they're fine.
Yeah, like, seen in practice, they might be nicer because, like, one thing that sucks with the spell is missing and then you spent your charge, and this just doesn't do that. And you do reasonably get, like, the same amount of shots, roughly, right?
No, like you get
Yeah.
3 2-damage shots, and you just get to check afterwards.
Yeah.
To me, the thing that is interesting about these ones is that the downside happens on success. So you're never like, I fired up my Shriveling, and I missed, and I got hit, and I took 2 aura,
Yeah, that's
and
what
now
they're
I am
experienced.
going to die.
Yeah.
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 I do love the art on this brand.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like this good old shitty Arkham Second Edition art.
Oh,
Probably
does
is.
it ever.
Probably is from the...
It fits so well with the game, man. The, like,
It does, oh yeah.
80s pulp style art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Blur. This one is you the evasion spell.
Old man.
Brain over foot. As you see the numbers, I'm no mathematician, but I think 4 is bigger than 1.
I really hope so.
If you succeed, you can spend a charge on the basic one. You may take an additional action this turn after evading the enemy. The other one is you can spend 1 or 2 to take that many additional actions. And if you succeed by 0, take 2 damage. I think these ones are pretty nice because what really sucks in this game? Spending an action to evade. You're like, ah, frick.
Yeah.
And now, you just don't.
Yeah, you're just Finn.
Yeah, you're just
No.
Finn.
Worth noting, the level 4 versions of all these spells, including the other ones we're going to talk about, also give you +2 to the skill test, regardless of which stat you choose to use.
Yes.
Whereas the level 1 ones do not.
Man, how
Maybe
many
+1.
different
They do.
evade
Yeah.
actions can you run
that's
in,
nice.
with Blur in a single turn?
So many.
Uh,
No, it's Norman Withers. It's 1.
yeah, unfortunately you can't play it as Finn Edwards.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
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 Ooh, level 0. Oh, well, level 4 green card. I'm so...
Jeez.
Ah,
Is it illegal?
yeah. We got Divination. This one's the clue-getting one. If you succeed, you can spend 1 or 2 charge. Instead of discovering clues at your location, discover 1 clue at your location for each charge spent. The other one is +2 scale value instead of 1. 1, 2, or 3 charges. And it's still just discover a clue. 6 versus 4 charges for the 4 and level 1. If you succeed by 0, choose and discard a card from your hand, 2 cards from the level 4 one.
Yeah, like, so these, your brain is worse than your book, especially. These get better, like, the more that you make your deck experience, because you're probably taking out cards that make your book better in exchange for cards that make your brain better, or just cards that use your brain. And these cards are also have the benefit of being very good at clearing out lower shroud locations in that sort of awkward middle stretch. If you really are going like full-on Clover, you can pick these up, use them to clear out the 2-3 shroud locations, and then save your high books and your working hunches for the high shroud locations,
Well-
where it's not so important to clear out all of them. It's just more important to actually pass the test.
Oh, and this one you may use brain instead of book, so you can still use your book.
Oh,
for it.
really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So then, yeah.
Never mind.
You
Normal
can,
most what I said.
You can run this one with the magnifying glass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Divination, you got the pool, you're like,
I can't quite
why am I
see.
so old?
Yeah, no, and like it's you know you
Yeah.
get it with just divination. You're investigating at 7. You can grab 3 clues for 1 action, like, and it's not even talking about like building, because I feel like these ones are designed to fill back up with charges, and there's an option for that in here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is with a
I don't know, we'll find out.
yeah.
So, headcanon. The antiquary is actually a separate person who is
Is
Norman's
this with you?
caretaker.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, let's get you back to the observatory.
All right, well, let's talk about the Antiquary and Prophetic. So these are both 3 cost, 3 experience assets. They're talents, well, except for the Antiquary. That's a man. It uses 2 resources. Replenish these resources at the start of each round. Resources on Antiquary and Prophetic may be used for Favor, Relic, and Ritual on Antiquary, and Fortune, Spell, and Spirit on Prophetic. And then during a skill test on a Favor, Relic, Ritual, you can spend a resource from Antiquary to get +1 skill value, and then Fortune, Spell, and Spirit for Prophetic.
You're gonna play a lot of
those
and rituals and spells and spirits. There's another purple one 5th cycle, but it pays for something stupid, so don't play that one.
Do you know what it's pays for?
No.
Cool.
Like, it's like charms.
Maybe.
So,
Maybe.
Justin,
Yeah.
are these like your new favorite cards? Because you can play them with Dark Horse.
Oh,
To actually just like play the game normally, but
Yeah.
have +1s.
it's probably, yeah.
That's pretty sick.
I mean, I'll just play it with Dark Horse. +4!
Let's go.
Well, +3 rather, sorry.
Anyway, sorry.
That's pretty
man.
good.
Yeah.
I'm derailing the conversation here.
We got Nikosima Body, 4 cost, 3 experience. It's an ally and a sorcerer! Has 2 damage, 2 horror soak. After enters play, you name a non-Elder Sign Chaos token with a symbol. Until that card leaves play, the named symbol is your sigil. When investigator location reveals a cultist, a tablet, or a squid, exhaust Nikosima Body. Search the Chaos Bag for your sigil and reveal it instead. Return to the Chaos Bag. So it only wants you to reveal, like, so if you name blessed tokens, you need to prove it. If you choose, like, something like Skull, or, you know, you can just be like, you don't need to reveal. I'm just telling you right now, everyone knows skulls are in there unless they've all been sealed. And if you're going to be sealing your skulls...
Then you also know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, he's just... Some of those other tokens get really bad, especially the squid. And, like, this is just a way, if you wanted to do that, to say no. In addition, it works really well with Blessed and Cursed, which you don't have in this card pool, but if you are interested, that is something you can pursue with that.
Yep. Justin, where's level 1 Earthly Serenity?
I don't include it because the picture is blurred out, so I just, like, it's like
Okay.
blown out, so I just don't put the level 1 version in. But Earthly Serenity, 6, yeah, I can pull it up so we can actually say what the difference is, but the card is...
It's probably got like 4 charges instead of 6.
Yeah.
And you'd get
Yeah.
not plus or whatever.
So what it does do is you can test Brain 0. For each point you succeed by, you may spend 1 charge to heal 1 damage or 1 horror from an investigator location. If you succeed by 0, you lose 2 resources. So if you want to be healing, that's something that you can be doing. And the level 1 is...
The brain test
You
is
can read the
difficulty
important
1.
part of this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's got 4 charges as predicted.
Yeah.
And then you lose 1 resource instead too. Yeah, it's nice if your team's taking lots of trauma for whatever reason, or
Like
like you're
maybe
just
to get 3
experience.
XP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're just like, you don't really want to play the game. You'd rather just like kind of pooch you around or whatever.
Yeah. Here's that tome that Travis talked about, the upgraded tomes that can
That's
exist
another
in
one,
this.
yeah.
Yeah, so we have the Astronomical Atlas. This is 3 cost, 3 experience. Brain book. Takes up the hand slot. As a lightning bolt, you can exhaust it to look at the top card of your deck. If it is not a weakness, attach it face down to Astronomical Atlas, max 5 cards attached. As a lightning bolt, you can commit a card attached to it to an eligible skill test. If that test is successful, add that card to your hand instead of discarding it. Travis has started like he's already been telling me he has this practice makes perfect Norman deck in head, and this is just like further adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah, it just holds your skills till you need them.
Yeah,
And then you hold your skills.
Yeah,
Till
or
you
your
need
other
them.
cards. Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can like, there's no clue at your location, but you'd like to see different cards. Stick working a hunch under this. Do a book test later. Pick it up, and then play it.
yeah. Seems sick.
Oh my god, you can use this to put a card on it, and then you can put in your hand, you can use your lever depot and put it back on top and use your skill forever. Deduction every turn.
Let's go.
But not level 2.
Why not?
Because you can't play with it.
Oh yeah. I can still do it every turn though.
Yeah, yeah. Close the circle. All those hoops just to be Rex.
You know? You know?
Close the circle. It's a 2 cost, 1 experience. Uses 1 charge for class among cards you control, including this one. Oh, including that one. How nice of you. As a lightning bolt, you can spend 1 charge and exhaust, close the circle, take a basic action. For each skill test performed during that action, you may use your brain instead of the skill indicated for that action.
He's an old man.
He's an old
Yeah.
man.
But he's smart or whatever.
Sometimes you just want to be using this to investigate more.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of these multi-class cards are kind of good for Norman anyway because they let him use his brain instead of one of his other numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's going to play into one of the next cards as well, I believe.
yeah, and he seems to also like you're gonna be playing cards a bunch. So if they're not events, they're gonna be assets, and there's a lot of multicolor stuff you can do with that to take advantage of it. I mean, like if you just get Blur, this now comes in with 3 charges, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, grounded because Norman Withers has been bad this week, so he's grounded. It just
He's
gives
just
you,
always falling, can't get back
So-
up.
Yeah. So you take your 2 trauma to get 3 XP, and then you buy.
Yeah, they take 2 and 2. You're up 1. Yeah.
so
Big
it
plays.
gives you +1 to skill value during skill tests on spell cards. It also must take the damage of non-direct damage, and horror must be assigned to grounded before you can assign to your investigator. And you can spend a resource to increase your skill value on spell cards. And it soaks for 2 and 2.
I fell in
Yep.
and I can't get up.
It's just good.
We got True Magic,
Magic, it's a tome.
5 cost tome, 4 cost tome, 5 experience. Uses 1 charge, replenish this charge at the start of each round. You may resolve You may resolve abilities on spell assets in your hand by revealing them from your hand, and treat True Magic as if it were the revealed asset.
This card is so good for Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like with in this card pool in particular, with all the spells, you just hold them in your hand. You have this in play. You just do whatever you need to do that turn.
And you just zap with True Magic. And this one obviously...
You can tutor with the Research Librarian. It's just...
Yeah, this one works very poorly.
with the spells that are in
multicolored
this cycle.
spells.
Yeah, that's what it's just like...
Yeah, so if you're playing this, you probably either want to have a different a different cycle to take spells from, or even just playing like Shriveling.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
You're gonna want.
Why is this in this cycle?
Well, because they have True Magic.
Because it's sick.
Yeah, but it doesn't. I blame the developers for this one. It doesn't
Why
fit
is
the
anything in
cycle.
any cycle?
Well, I mean, like this just doesn't have synergy with any of the other purple cards, any of
This
the
is
purple
true.
spells.
Yeah, but I think like now that they have that in all of them. Like there's just
So-
cards that are just like good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't play as your normal Withers deck if you just have these 2 cycles.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Scratch that.
you're definitely gonna want something else.
Yeah, I did this. With
Literally
Rush,
any
but-
of them though. Any of them will do. That aren't this particular cycle. Even if you have the Jacqueline Fine Investigator deck,
Yeah, those also...
that'll work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Foresight. This one's pretty sweet for half of it for Norman Withers. It's a 0 cost, 1 experience, fast. Play when investigate location would draw a card from the deck from the encounter deck. Name a card. If the drawn card is the named card, that investigator may either cancel that card's effects and discard it, or immediately play that card at -2 cost. If only there was some way you could know it was on top of your deck.
If only.
If only.
Man. So you play this card, and you're just like naming weaknesses that aren't in someone's deck. And they're like, why are you doing
Go,
this?
go, draw it. Overzealous, go.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
It's for you.
yeah, and it makes it so that it's now -2 instead of -1. Because I don't think the bonuses stack. I think it just improves.
Yeah, because
bonus.
the card will have been drawn
Yeah,
by the time this card does anything, so it won't be on top of your deck anymore.
Yeah, you can also use this one to like... If you're playing a scenario you know well, you can just like name the card that screws you.
Yep. Yeah.
You can just name Ancient Evils and...
Hope.
You were like, man...
I feel like a
If we
ball.
don't draw
Ancient
Ancient
Evils
Evils
at
this turn,
-2.
we're screwed,
Yeah.
or we're good. And then you're like, well, if we like just don't.
Yeah. We have Parallel Fates. Look at the top 6 cards of an investigator's deck or the encounter deck. You may either return them to the top of the deck in any order or shuffle them into that deck. If you looked at an investigator's deck, that investigator may draw 1 card. Bryn, it's the card that you can actually use to stack your deck. The thing they never let you do, it allows you to do it.
You know, they don't usually let you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this card mostly exists so that other investigators could ever possibly play the cards that Norman wants to play.
Yeah.
Still solid for
But
Norman,
yeah, like that being said, even if your name is Norman, like
I mean, they have other
not
options
bad.
for that too. You got like scrying, you've got scroll of secrets.
But it's nice to just like in action to look at the top 6, put
Works
your
really
weakness
well.
down on the bottom, and then
Really
just draw
good
a
with
card.
foresight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just like look at the encounter deck.
Stack.
and
And
you're like,
even just if you look at it, even looking at
give
the encounter
yourself
deck,
give yourself the ancient evils, a war of protection, and foresight someone else's card.
and even just like looking at the top 6 cards and choosing, like if it's 2 players, that's choosing how the next 3 Mythos plays play out.
Yep.
That's big. That's really
It's
big.
huge. It's worth 2 experience.
Winds of Power. Place 2 charges on an asset you control. After you draw Winds of Power during your turn, play it. Charges.
If only there's a way to know when you could. I mean, I play this for 1 or when to draw during your turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, it's good.
Yeah. And then we got Occult Theory. While Occult Theory is in your hand or committed to a skill test, it gains brain icons equal to your book and book icons equal to your brain. 9.
Big numbers, boys.
Those numbers
Number
do
big.
be big. They do be big. And then the last one here is we got Call for Backup. This one is, as I pointed out earlier, like you have a lot of different assets that have different colors, and you'll get some juicy stuff on this. At the baseline, unless you're playing this as your first thing or you have no assets in play, it's gonna discover you a clue, which isn't bad for free, right?
Yeah,
like
it's
because you
fine.
play off the top of your deck.
Yeah.
But then you have a Mystic card, you heal 1 horror from any card. Maybe you have you have Brand of Cthulhu in play, so you also can now deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location. It will provoke attacks of opportunity if that happens.
So be
but,
careful.
I just think with Norman,
I'm generally skeptical of these synergy cards for some investigators, but I think that in particular with this card pool, they're very strong for Norman.
yeah, I agree.
Just because it's so easy to get all those colors between him wanting, like actively wanting 2 of the Antiquary and the Prophetic, as well as just all his spells are dual colored already.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna be really easy to get like 3 or 4 out of this.
That's Norman. So sick. It's nice to see. I really like seeing him with his non-book stuff, his non-replacements, because I think he seems very fun, and I'm excited to play him. I think this is one that we're like all kind of into the idea of. We're all like, yeah,
Yeah.
Norman's cool.
I like playing Magic with Future Sight in play.
yeah, exactly.
That's what this guy does.
I like playing Miracles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I like old men.
All
I
right.
good.
like.
You want to thank your patrons now, or?
No, I want to talk about old men some more. No, thank you, patrons, for supporting us and everyone who's watching. This is the end of our new player guides until the next investigators come out.
Yeah, what's taking the slot?
I don't know yet. It might be the variety. Might be yeah. It's probably just gonna be variety for a bit until we find something new, or it's just gonna stay variety for a bit.
Yeah,
'Cause-
maybe we'll have Russell walk around on the table for a
Oh, let's go.
Here's a video of Russell for half an hour just being a cat.
It's true. Actually, that's already on our channel. We have the Russell stream when we move.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one, and as always, GG's.